Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to transfer an image you want to paint to a canvas. It may seem like a tedious way to do it, but when you don't have expensive shit, these are the ways to get it done. Also, this is how I've been doing it since the beginning of my painting career, so like and subscribe for more, and let's become artists. We'll start with what you need to do this. So make sure you have paper or tracing paper, tape, masking tape or scotch tape, pencil, something to have your image on like a TV, laptop, iPad, something with a decent screen size to make it as easy as possible. Once you have these items, we can start with the first step. So the very first thing you want to do is find an image that you want to paint. For this demonstration, I'm going to do a portrait, save it, and get it on the device you're going to trace it off. This could be your TV, browser, laptop, iPad, or whatever. Just make sure it's big enough to trace the image. The bigger the better.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
Next, once you have your image on your device, you want to figure out how big you want your subject to be. So take your piece of paper to the canvas and see how big you have to trace it. And depending on the size, I usually have to do multiple pieces of paper, depending on the canvas. But I'll show you how to do that as well. So once you know what size you want your subject, zoom into your image and try and get the most important part on one piece of paper. For my subject here, it's going to be the face, and I want to get as much of it onto my first piece of paper as possible. Then tape it down. When it comes to tracing, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with tracing every detail. You don't need to do that. I don't do that. So instead, just get the most important parts of your subject. For this portrait, it's going to be the hair, direction and shape. Trace some of the more standout directions the hair goes in. The part in the hair where it connects to your scalp, the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, outline of face, and the highlights and noticeable changes in tone and the dark shadows. Once you have your tracing, tape it together if there's multiple pieces, then trace everything over with a dark pen or a fine tip marker. This will make it easier to see your tracing through the canvas. Next, tape your tracing to the back of the canvas. Make sure it's centered or wherever you want it. You can hold it up to the light and see it, with the sunlight, you can see it through the canvas to see its position as well. Once it's where you want it, put a light behind it. Find something longish to press the tracing against the canvas. When you're trying to trace something and you want it completely pressed against the back of the canvas so you can see it. Otherwise it's blurry even with the light behind it. I use a back scratcher that it just kind of works for me because I can extend it and shit. But you can use anything. You can use your hand, but it kind of gets difficult when you're trying to reach across the whole back of the canvas. So just find something kind of long, maybe even just a pencil might do. And then once you have something like that, just trace it again onto the canvas. There we are. By now, if you've done all these steps, you should have your image on your canvas. Next, we'll go over mixing colors and making your first palette for your painting. This may seem a very tedious way, but it's how I've been doing it since I started painting. If you find a better way, by all means do that. Find the best way that works for you. But as always, if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. If you have a question, leave a comment. And stick around for the next steps in my painting process. And let's become artists. Peace, y'all.